Hello my friends, my name is Dr. Syed Kazmi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the agenda setting in context of public policy making. Those of you who have watched my first 3 videos on this subject of public policy making, they would understand that in my very first lecture, I talked about the definition of public policy. In my second lecture, I talked about the different models of policy making, and in particularly, I focused on the concept of power in public policy making. In my third lecture, I defined who is a stakeholder and how we do a stakeholder analysis before making public policies. So if you haven't watched those videos, please go back and watch those videos in order. Now, for those who have watched those 3 videos, in today's video, which is the lecture number 4 on this subject of public policy making, I'm going to touch the issue of agenda setting in context of public policy making. So I need to tell you first of all what is agenda setting. Now, but before I start, those of you who are watching my channel for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like my videos, then please press the like button, share it with your friends, and also press the bell notification icon so whenever I upload a new video, you are always on board with me. So let's start with today's topic, agenda setting. So what is an agenda? An agenda is a list of prioritized problems which the power circles, in other words, the governments, would take and would make policies about and would try to find solutions to these problems which they have put on their priority list in the form of policies, and then translating those policies into actions by operationalizing different programs and projects. So in very simple words, an agenda is a list. It's an action list which is made by the government, and it includes all those issues which are there on the radar screen of the government and which the government wants to address on an emergency basis, or even if it's not an emergency basis, on a priority basis. Now, how certain issues they come up on the agenda radar screen, and while other issues they are not. You might have seen that many times there are issues, burning issues, which you think need addressal, but the governments, they don't do anything about that. And then there are issues which you think are not important, but the government, they take those issues on board and they try to make policies about them. So the question is, why certain issues they come up on the agenda and while other issues not? Now, there have been different models which have tried to address this issue to see why this happens, why certain issues are there on the agenda screen or the agenda list of the government while others are not. And the best model which explains that in a very beautiful way is the Kingdon's model. So the Kingdon's model actually describes the process of agenda setting in the form of 3 rivers that are flowing parallel to one another in a zigzag manner. So there are 3 rivers. The first river is known as the problem river. So just consider that this is a river. It's a big river because it contains all the problems related to different issues. It can include your healthcare problem, it can include your financial problem, it can include problems related to the education, so on and so forth. So this is a problem river in which the different problems which are concerning the public, they are flowing. And again, it's a zigzag because it will flow in different direction and it's flowing in one direction. The second river is what we call as a solutions river. In solutions river, there are different solutions which are, again flowing in a zigzag manner. And again, we know that for every problem, there could be one or more than one solution. So for all those problems that are flowing in the problem river, the solutions are flowing in the solutions river. And again, it's a zigzag flowing parallel to the problem river. And the third river is the political will or politics river. So this river actually contains the issues which are there on the political list of the government. In other words, these are those issues which the government thinks need to be addressed. So there is a political will to address those issues. So these are the issues which might be there in the party manifestos of the government or of the political parties, and they want to do something about that. There could be issues which are actually highlighted and close to the government, and there might be a political will simply because the power circles which are close to the government are those who are financing the government they actually want it on the agenda list. So like, for example, the countries in the what we call as a developing world, they might be influenced by international donors who are giving them money and they want certain issues to be addressed. So definitely they come on the agenda list. Similarly, in many countries, there are big industries, different types of financial institutions which have got their interest, and they try to buy politicians. They invest in the politicians. And again, the more they invest it, the more their issues are taken up on the agenda list. So remember, in the third river, there would be those issues for which there is a political will. And I just explained to you that which issues would have the political will of the government to be addressed. So the Kingdon model says that only those issues would be highlighted on the agenda list where these three rivers, they come close to one another. So the problem river and the solution river and the political will river, they come close to one another, where they either intersect, or even if they're not intersecting, they come very close to one another. So at that point in time, whatever problem along with its solution, along with its political will is there, that would be taken up on the agenda. So that would be the issue that the government would want to address. And again, then it would try to make policy about those issues by doing a stakeholder analysis, and then adopting any model of policy making which we have already discussed. And then once a policy is made, because I already told you the policies are a broad set of guidelines, and these policies will be translated into different programs and projects, and then they will be put into action. And after action, then you will see their output, outcomes and impacts, and see whether the policies need to be changed in the future or not. So it's a cycle again. So in other words, all those things that we have studied so far, they are put in practice. So the agendas are formed, the policies are formed by doing a stakeholder analysis, then a model is adopted, then a policy is made, that policy is announced by the government, it's then operationalized in the form of different project and policy, then it is acted upon. So that is how the whole cycle of public policy is done. So in these 4 lectures, we have defined public policy definition, the models of policy making, the stakeholder analysis, and today we talked about the agenda setting. So I hope you have understood, and I've tried to make this thing easier for you so you understand it. And if you in future, if you come across such a scenario, then you're able to understand and put all these things down into practice. So once again, thank you very much for watching my video. Please, if you have liked it, share it with your friends. If you don't like it, then share it with somebody you don't like. And have a good day. Bye-bye.